we're diving into something exciting: the 2017 P Mint Mark Ozark Riverways quarter and its potential to be worth a whopping $1.6 million. Sounds too good to be true? Well, let's take a closer look. The Ozark Riverways quarter is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters series, which started in 2010. The series was designed to honor national parks and historic sites across the United States, and each quarter features a different location. In 2017, the Ozark National Scenic Riverways, located in southern Missouri, was selected to be featured on a U.S. quarter. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with the design, the reverse side of this quarter shows a peaceful scene with a canoe gliding across the current river, a symbol of the tranquil beauty that the Ozarks are known for. On the obverse, as usual, is the famous image of George Washington. What makes this particular quarter so special and valuable, especially one with a 2017 P Mint mark? Let's dig into that. The 2017 P Ozark Riverways quarter is notable because it was the first time in history that a quarter was minted in Philadelphia with a P Mint mark. For years, U.S. quarters were primarily minted in Denver or San Francisco, so the P Mint mark on a coin was a rare occurrence. The U.S. Mint made this special decision to mark the 225th anniversary of the establishment of the Philadelphia Mint. Collectors knew that this mint mark was going to be unique, but little did anyone know just how valuable it could become. Now, you might be wondering, why does a regular quarter from 2017 have such an extraordinary value? Well, it all comes down to rarity, demand, and a bit of luck. Most of the 2017 P quarters were circulated through regular channels, meaning they were distributed in pocket change, used at stores, and passed from hand to hand. But here's the catch: not every single coin is created equally. A few of these 2017 P quarters were released into circulation with some very unusual, unique errors that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. For example, some 2017 P quarters were struck with unusual imperfections, such as double die errors or misstrikes, where the details on the coin are doubled, making them highly sought after by collectors. Other factors that contribute to the value include the condition of the coin and whether it's been preserved in mint state. Coins that are uncirculated and in pristine condition, especially those with minting errors, are worth far more than their face value. The $1.6 million 2017 P quarter, 4 to 5 o'clock, in fact, one of these 2017 P Ozark Riverways quarters with a rare double die error recently sold for an astonishing $1.6 million at an auction. That's right, $1.6 million for a quarter. While it's important to note that these coins are extremely rare and finding one like this is like striking gold, it shows just how high the demand can be for rare coins. The $1.6 million sale of this particular coin was the result of fierce bidding among serious collectors and investors who are constantly on the lookout for these kinds of unique, one-of-a-kind pieces. Most of us will never stumble upon one of these rare finds, but even a coin in good condition, without any major errors, can still fetch a pretty penny if it's part of a well-preserved collection. So, how can you tell if you have one of these rare, valuable 2017 P Ozark Riverways quarters in your own pocket? First, check the mint mark. If you see a P Mint mark on the back of your quarter, you've got one of the special 2017 releases. Then, you'll want to examine the coin carefully for any signs of errors. Look for any double strikes or doubled letters, especially on the O in Ozark or the P in P Mint mark. These can be hard to spot with the naked eye, but a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe can help. Another important factor to consider is the condition of the coin. Coins that have been kept in mint condition or carefully stored in protective sleeves or holders are worth more than those that are heavily worn or damaged. The value of a coin can fluctuate based on its grade, which is determined by factors such as wear, scratch marks, and discoloration. Where can you sell or find these rare coins? If you think you've found one of these valuable 2017 P quarters, it's important to know where to go next. You can start by visiting reputable coin dealers or auction houses. Many of these experts specialize in error coins and can give you an estimate of the value of your coin based on its rarity and condition. It's also a good idea to check online auction platforms, where rare coins are often listed for sale. Websites like eBay and Heritage Auctions feature some of the most sought-after coins in the world, and you might even find one of these 2017 P quarters selling for much more than you would expect. In conclusion, while the idea of finding a $1.6 million coin may seem like a dream, the story of the 2017 P Ozark Riverways quarter proves that hidden treasures can be found in the most unexpected places. If you've got some change lying around, it might be worth taking a closer look at your quarters, because you never know when you might have a piece of history in your hands. Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coin collecting and hidden treasures, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And leave a comment below if you've ever come across a rare coin, or if you're now ready to start your own search for valuable quarters. We have a fascinating topic for all you coin collectors and enthusiasts out there. We're going to talk about the 1986 P Washington $quarter coin, a coin that's become somewhat of a legend in the numismatic world. You might be wondering, what's so special about this coin? Well, let me tell you, it's not just any ordinary quarter. This coin has a story behind it, a rarity that's caught the eyes of collectors and investors alike, and it's currently fetching an astonishing market value of $1.7 million. First, let's talk a bit about the Washington quarter itself. It was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Since then, the coin has been minted in various years, with subtle design changes. The front, of course, features George Washington's profile, while the back typically shows an eagle. But in 1986, there was a specific set of circumstances that led to a rare variety of this coin being minted, and this is where the story gets interesting. Now, the 1986 P Washington quarter is not inherently rare. In fact, millions of these coins were minted that year at the Philadelphia Mint. But here's the twist. Some of these quarters were struck with a unique flaw that has made them incredibly valuable in today's market. This flaw is what's known as the double die obverse error. Double die errors occur when a coin is struck twice, creating a slight doubling effect on certain parts of the coin's design. For the 1986 P Washington quarter, this error caused a noticeable doubling on the word Liberty and on the date 1986 on the obverse side of the coin. These errors are incredibly rare, and when they do show up, they catch the attention of collectors willing to pay top dollar for a piece of history. The value of a coin is typically determined by several factors: rarity, demand, and condition. While there were a lot of 1986 P Washington quarters minted, only a handful contain this double die error. These coins, when found in excellent condition, can command extraordinary prices. But here's the kicker. Some of these error coins, in pristine condition, have sold for as much as $1.7 million at auction.so. Why such a high value? First, it's because of the rarity of the error. A minting error like this is extremely unusual, and most coins from the same batch were either not discovered or were not in collectible condition. Only a few select examples of this coin, with the double die error intact and in great shape, remain in circulation today. The scarcity of these coins drives up demand, and as we all know, with higher demand comes higher prices. As of now, the market value of a 1986 P Washington quarter with this double die error is skyrocketing. A recent sale saw one of these quarters go for a record-breaking $1.7 million. That's right, $1.7 million for a coin that, at face value, is just a quarter. It's mind-blowing to think about how a simple minting mistake can turn a regular coin into a valuable treasure worth more than some luxury cars or homes. Now, you might be wondering, why does this matter to you? Well, if you've got a 1986 P. Washington quarter lying around, it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Of course, the chances of finding one with this specific error are slim, but there's no harm in checking. Many collectors have stumbled upon such treasures in their coin jars or change purses without even realizing it. For those of you who are just starting out in coin collecting or are looking to expand your collection, knowing about this rare coin and the current market demand is essential. The world of coin collecting can be both fun and lucrative, and it's full of surprises. The 1986 P. Washington quarter is just one example of how a rare error can make a coin worth a fortune. So, to sum up, if you have a 1986 P. Washington quarter, it could be worth checking for that double die error. A coin like this, in mint condition, could be worth up to $1.7 million on the current market. While it's a long shot to find one, it's certainly worth keeping an eye out. Who knows, you might be holding on to a small fortune right in your pocket. Thanks for tuning in today, and be sure to check your change for any rare finds. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into the world of rare coins. We're diving into one of the most exciting topics in numismatics, the 1965 Washington quarter-dollar coin. This particular coin, often overlooked by many, holds incredible value in the right condition. So if you're a coin collector or just someone who wants to know about hidden treasures, stick around for this fascinating look into one of the rarest coins in American history. Now, you might be thinking, what's so special about a 1965 quarter? After all, 1965 wasn't a year of huge changes in coin design. But the truth is, if you have one of these coins in your collection, you could be holding a treasure worth millions. At first glance, the 1965 Washington quarter looks like any other quarter produced during the 1960s. It features the familiar portrait of George Washington on the front and the iconic eagle on the reverse. But what sets it apart from other coins of the same year is the absence of a mint mark. Now, let's talk about that absence of a mint mark. You see, all coins in the United States typically have a mint mark indicating where they were produced: D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and P for Philadelphia. But in 1965, due to the Coinage Act, the United States Mint stopped using mint marks on quarters, dimes, and half dollars. That means there are no mint marks on the 1965 Washington quarter. But here's where it gets interesting. The 1965 Washington quarter, while being produced in huge numbers, holds rare examples that are worth far more than face value. You see, a particular error occurred in the minting process during the year. Some of these quarters were accidentally struck with an unusually high level of detail or struck on a different planchet. This error has caused these coins to be highly sought after. Fast forward to today, and the value of these coins has skyrocketed. While most 1965 Washington quarters are worth just 25 cents, certain rare examples, especially those with specific errors or higher grades, can fetch extraordinary amounts. In recent years, some of these error coins have been sold for over $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.8 million. But that's not something you'll find every day. The exact details of these rare coins vary, but the key factors are the minting errors, such as over or understriking, and their incredible condition. So what exactly makes a 1965 quarter so valuable? First, it's the rarity of these coins in exceptional condition. Coins that have survived for decades with minimal wear, especially those with minting errors, are extremely rare. And then, there's the error itself. The coin was mistakenly struck on a different metal, and that's where its real value lies. Collectors and investors alike are always on the lookout for coins with unusual characteristics. So, if you happen to find a 1965 quarter in pristine condition or with a noticeable minting flaw, it could be time to take it to an expert. But how can you tell if your 1965 quarter is worth big money? The first thing to check is its condition. Coins in mint state or close to it are far more valuable. Look for signs of wear and tear. If it's in perfect condition, it could be worth a lot more than you think. Next, examine the coin for any striking errors, such as doubling, misalignments, or even being struck on the wrong planchet. And remember, the market for rare coins can fluctuate, but as of now, these 1965 Washington quarters are commanding high prices. Whether you find one in your change jar or in a box of old family keepsakes, it might just be worth your time to check the value. So what do you think? Do you have any old 1965 Washington quarters lying around? Or maybe you're inspired to start looking for rare coins now. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And if you think you might have one of these valuable quarters in your collection, leave a comment below or let me know if you have any questions about identifying rare coins. We have an exciting topic that could just turn your pocket change into a small fortune. We're diving into the world of rare coins, focusing on a special quarter that could be worth an eye-popping $1.9 million. I'm talking about the 2000 South Carolina quarter with a rare mint mark. So, if you're into coin collecting or just looking to check your spare change for hidden treasures, stick around for this fascinating journey. In 2000, the U.S. Mint began releasing a series of state quarters, each featuring designs that represent the unique history and culture of the state it honors. South Carolina was the 8th state in this series, and its quarter is a beautiful tribute to the Palmetto State. The design features a palmetto tree, which is South Carolina's state tree, and a crescent moon, which is a symbol of the state's early flag. It's a beautifully crafted coin that represents the rich history of South Carolina. Not all 2000 South Carolina quarters are created equal. There's one version of this coin that stands out from the rest, and it's what we're here to talk about today. The 2000 South Carolina quarter is generally quite common, with millions of them being minted. Most of these quarters have little to no added value beyond their face value of 25 cents. However, a small, rare number of these quarters were minted with a significant error that makes them extremely valuable. We're talking about the famous 2000 mint mark quarter with a rare doubling error. This mint error occurs when the engraving of the mint mark, which is usually placed on the coin to indicate where it was made, is struck twice by the press during production. This results in a coin with a doubled mint mark. The mistake is subtle, but it's there, and it's what makes these coins highly sought after by collectors. The rarity of this coin, combined with its unique error, has made it one of the most valuable quarters out there. While the regular 2000 South Carolina quarter might only be worth 25 cents, a quarter with this doubling error has been known to fetch some pretty staggering amounts. In fact, one of these error coins was sold at auction for a record-breaking $1.9 million. That's right, $1.9 million for a single quarter. It's no wonder that collectors are constantly on the lookout for this rare minting mistake. So, how do you identify this rare quarter that could potentially make you a millionaire? Well, it's all about the mint mark. The mint mark, D, stands for the Denver Mint, and it's located just below the date on the front of the coin. If you have a 2000 South Carolina quarter, it's worth taking a close look at that mint mark. If the mint mark looks like it has been struck twice, you've found something special. This doubling error can be faint, but it should be noticeable when you examine the coin carefully. The second impression of the mint mark will appear slightly offset from the original. So, how can you start your search for this rare gem? First things first, you'll want to gather up any 2000 South Carolina quarters you might have. They can be found in your pocket change, at local banks, or in coin rolls. Next, take out a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe and start looking at the mint mark on each quarter. You want to inspect the mint mark for any signs of doubling. It may take a little time and patience, but it could be worth it. If you happen to find one of these rare coins, don't just spend it. Set it aside and have it properly evaluated by a coin expert. While the 2000 South Carolina quarter is among the most valuable, it's not the only quarter that could be worth a lot more than its face value. There are many other rare and valuable coins out there, including quarters from different states and minting years with similar errors. Some of the most popular ones include misprints, missing or extra letters, and other minting flaws. Coin collecting is an exciting hobby, and sometimes it's not just about finding a rare coin, but also about understanding the history and craftsmanship behind each one. Even if you don't find a $1.9 million coin, you could still discover some valuable and unique pieces along the way. If you think you found one of these rare 2000 South Carolina quarters, don't just rush off to spend it. It's important to have your coin authenticated. You can take it to a professional coin dealer or send it to a grading service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, for evaluation. These services will assess the coin's condition and rarity and give it a grade, which is essential when determining its market value. Once authenticated and graded, your coin will be more attractive to collectors, and you may be able to sell it for a significant amount. Who knows, maybe your quarter will be the next one to make headlines for selling at a record price. The 2000 South Carolina quarter with the doubling mint mark is one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in U.S. history. While most of these quarters are worth just 25 cents, a rare few can fetch up to $1.9 million. If you happen to find one of these valuable coins, it could be your ticket to a small fortune. So remember to always check your change. And if you're serious about collecting, don't forget to do your research. You never know when a rare coin might come your way. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins and valuable collectibles, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our latest content. We're diving into a coin that has a fascinating history and a value that may surprise you. I'm talking about the 1967 no-mint mark Washington quarter dollar. If you've ever wondered what makes this coin so valuable, stick around because we're going to uncover everything you need to know about this rare piece of U.S. history. Before we get into the specifics of the 1967 quarter, let's talk a bit about the Washington quarter itself. Introduced in 1932, the Washington quarter was designed by John Flanagan and features a portrait of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. This iconic coin has been in circulation for decades and is beloved by collectors for its timeless design. Now, you might be wondering, what makes the 1967 Washington quarter so special? The term, no mint mark, refers to a coin that was minted without the letter D for Denver or S for San Francisco stamped on it. The mint marks are typically located on the obverse of the coin, just to the right of George Washington's neck. They tell you where the coin was minted, either in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. In 1967, the Philadelphia Mint struck Washington quarters without adding a mint mark to them. The result was a rare, unmarked coin that has caught the attention of collectors, especially in recent years. So, why is the 1967 no-mint mark quarter so intriguing? The 1967 quarters were generally struck with a mint mark. However, a small batch of them was released without the mint mark, making them exceptionally rare. These coins were produced during a time of transition at the U.S. Mint, and the lack of the mint mark wasn't initially recognized as a significant error. But over time, collectors began to realize that this anomaly was something special. Unlike other years where mint marks are the norm, the 1967 no-mint mark quarter is considered an error coin, adding to its desirability. It's important to note that these are not common, and finding one can take a great deal of patience and effort. Now let's talk about the value. Typically, a Washington quarter from 1967 in regular circulation is worth just a little more than its face value. However, a no-mint mark version of the 1967 quarter can fetch an astounding price on the open market. In some cases, this rare error coin has been sold for upwards of $1 million. That's right, $1 million. It's not a typo. The rarity of this coin, combined with its error status, makes it highly sought after by serious coin collectors. The coin is especially prized for its historical significance, as it marks a rare moment in U.S. mint history. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for an example in mint condition, especially those with high-grade certifications from professional grading services. So, how do you know if you found one of these elusive coins in your collection or pocket change? Here's what you need to look for. It must be from 1967. Make sure the date is clearly visible and not worn down. This is the most crucial part. If the coin has no mint mark to the right of George Washington's neck, you're looking at a no mint mark coin. It's important to know that all regular 1967 Washington quarters have the D mint mark from Denver or are unmarked if they come from Philadelphia. Condition. The condition of the coin matters. If it's in excellent condition with minimal wear, it's going to be worth much more. Higher grade examples that look almost uncirculated can demand premium prices. What affects the market value of the 1967 no mint mark quarter? 6:30 to 8 o'clock. There are a few factors that determine how much a 1967 no mint mark Washington quarter can be worth. As with any collectible, condition is key. Coins that have been kept in pristine condition without scratches, wear, or discoloration are the most valuable. Another factor is demand. While $1 million may sound like an exaggeration, it's a reality for top-tier coins with the right certification and provenance. The more collectors and investors who are interested in a particular coin, the higher its value will rise. And don't forget about grading. Coins that are graded by reputable services, like PCGS or NGC, can see their value increase significantly. These services assess the quality of the coin based on a 1 to 70 scale, with higher numbers signifying better condition. Finding a 1967 no mint mark quarter isn't easy. These coins are rare, and if you're hoping to find one in your change, you're likely to have a long wait ahead of you. Most of the coins in circulation were minted with a mint mark, so unmarked coins are a rarity. To find one, you'll likely need to visit coin shows, auctions, or work with reputable dealers who specialize in rare coins. Many collectors also keep an eye on online auction sites, but be cautious of forgeries and ensure that the coin is properly authenticated. If you're lucky enough to own a 1967 no mint mark Washington quarter, you may be wondering whether to hold onto it or sell. If it's in great condition, it could be a wise decision to hold onto it for the long term, as values could continue to rise. After all, error coins tend to appreciate over time as their rarity increases. However, if you find yourself in need of cash, selling it at the right time could be incredibly profitable. Just remember to get it properly appraised and graded to maximize its value. So, there you have it. The 1967 no mint mark Washington quarter is a coin that stands out in U.S. numismatic history for its rarity and incredible value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting into the hobby, knowing what to look for could help you discover a true treasure worth potentially $1 million. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more coin insights. Have you come across a rare coin in your collection? We'll be diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1965 Washington quarter, particularly one that's been the subject of much intrigue and discussion. The elusive 1965 no mint mark Washington quarter, a coin that could be worth a staggering $1.5 million today. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning to explore the world of coins, this episode is for you. Let's take a closer look at the history, rarity, and current market value of this fascinating piece of American numismatic history. To begin with, let's talk about the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter, first minted in 1932, honors George Washington, the first president of the United States. Over the years, this coin has undergone slight modifications, but the design has largely remained the same. Now, let's zoom in on the 1965 Washington quarter. This particular year stands out for a number of reasons. In 1965, the U.S. Mint made a significant change to the coinage. For the first time in U.S. history, the Mint eliminated the use of silver in most of the nation's coins, including the Washington quarter. The 1965 Washington quarters were struck in a composition of copper-nickel, which gave the coins a different weight and feel compared to their earlier silver counterparts. But here's where it gets interesting. The 1965 Washington quarter is famous for its lack of a mint mark. Normally, a coin would display a mint mark to show which U.S. Mint facility produced it, either the D for Denver, the S for San Francisco, or no mark at all if it was made in Philadelphia. However, in 1965, a rare and intriguing situation occurred. Some 1965 Washington quarters were struck without any mint mark, even though they were supposed to have one. Now, some might think, what's the big deal about a missing mint mark? Well, it turns out that this small detail has captured the attention of collectors for decades. Why? Because these coins are incredibly rare. There were only a small number of these no-mint marked 1965 Washington quarters ever produced, and they're now considered one of the most sought-after coins among collectors. But rarity alone isn't what gives this coin its eye-popping value. As with all rare coins, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. Coins that are well preserved, free from significant wear and tear, are far more valuable than coins that have been heavily circulated. Now, let's get to the heart of the matter, the current market value. In recent years, the 1965 no-mint mark Washington quarter has reached incredible prices at auctions and private sales. In fact, some of these rare coins have been sold for up to $1.5 million, a jaw-dropping figure that reflects just how much collectors are willing to pay for one of these elusive quarters in pristine condition. So why is this coin so valuable? There are a few reasons. First, there's the rarity factor. With only a handful of these coins known to exist, finding one is like discovering a hidden treasure. Second, the coin's historical significance adds to its value. The 1965 no-mint mark Washington quarter represents a turning point in U.S. minting history, as it was part of the transition away from silver coinage to the copper-nickel-clad coins we use today. Another important factor is the collector demand. Over the years, interest in rare coins has only increased. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins with unique characteristics or stories behind them, and the 1965 no-mint mark Washington quarter has both. It's one of those coins that, when found, can turn an ordinary collection into something extraordinary. But finding one of these rare quarters isn't easy. In fact, if you ever come across a 1965 Washington quarter without a mint mark, it's worth taking a closer look. You'll want to inspect the coin's details carefully to determine if it's the real deal. If you think you've found one, it's best to get it authenticated by a professional grading service to verify its authenticity and condition. Once authenticated, the next step is grading. The grade of the coin will have a direct impact on its market value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. Higher grade coins, those that show little to no wear, are always worth more. So, if you happen to own a 1965 no-mint mark Washington quarter in exceptional condition, congratulations, you might be sitting on a small fortune. In the world of coin collecting, the 1965 no-mint mark Washington quarter is a true gem. It's a symbol of rarity, history, and the allure of hidden treasures. With a current market value that can reach up to $1.5 million, it's no surprise that this coin continues to captivate the imaginations of collectors everywhere. So, there you have it, the incredible story of the 1965 no-mint Mark Washington quarter and why it commands such a high price today. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, always remember that sometimes the most valuable coins are the ones you least expect to find. Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more coin-related content, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.